Welcome back, episode 7. We're really late on this one, Brennan.
Life happens.
Life happens. I've been really busy. So this week on our music review, we're gonna do a little bit of a shorter review. Honestly, I didn't get enough chance to really go song by song, but with that being said, this week we got Styles P, his new project called Dime Bag. We got Action Bronson's new project called White Bronco. And we also have Family Business's new EP, LLC. And that's it for projects. For singles, we're doing Method Man's new single, GID, Saba, and Ren Thomas. All right, let's start this off with Styles P. His new album is called Dime Bag. Brennan, do you have the facts?
Yeah, I sure do. Alright, so this album is Styles P's new album, like Corbin already said. It's titled Dime Bag. Came out on November 2nd, and it has a runtime of 33 minutes, and it has a total of 10 tracks. Corbin, this one came out pretty shortly after the other one, huh?
Yeah, it was honestly only a couple weeks later. I see on some social media platform that he posted another one, and I was like, add it to the list. All right, another project from Styles P. And what is that, like 4 this year now? Damn. If you heard our review of the Beloved project Styles P and Deez did a few weeks ago, you know that I really enjoyed that album. So much street material that's great, and honestly, Styles never really disappoints me. So here we go with Dime Bag. Track number 1, War and Peace. Very orchestral feel to the overall sound of the instrumental. The spiking organ hits the hard driving drum beat that Styles flows over very well. And man, I love it when the track breaks down for the bridge and the lead out. I love the duality that's done here between the circumstances that are war and peace. And what I mean by that is in the chorus, he says these lyrics, I'm about peace, but I'm with these 100 shots bucking at my enemies running up the street. I'm about war, but I'm about my brother and his family, concerned with how they live and how they eat. And Styles is truly an underrated lyricist in my opinion. And the second verse starts off fantastically. Thinking to myself, I should have took my time. Left the dope game for rap, should have took my lines. Put the city on my back, never took my spine. Off the stoop by 7, was a crook by 9. From the era where they screamed out, do that shit. And this is lyrically dark and gritty, and I loved every bit of it, to be honest. And I give this one an 8.5 out of 10. It's a good start.
I also agree with you on that one, Corbin. I really enjoyed the lyrics on this. Thought they were creative. It had a nice beat as well, but you already touched base on that, so I can't really dive into it. It tells a good story, too, like Corbin already mentioned. It gets very dark and gritty. So, you know me, I'm all about those types of songs. Thought it was very good, and I was very pleased with the first track on this project. The chorus was a bit repetitive, but the story was so good it wasn't really noticeable. So I gave it an 8 out of 10. Pretty close to you, Corbin.
I like it when a project just comes out gunning like that, with just some banging bass and all that good stuff. And then it leads us into a much more mellow track for sure, and that's track number 2, Never Fight in African. I mean, I love that title. From an instrumental aspect, there's so many layers. The beat starts off rather basic in my opinion, but when the pounding bass hits and the low piano notes hit, with it really creating a great foundation, it just like birthed new light for me, especially when the horns come in. Lyrically, Styles gets on his ancestry talk mixed with politics and street talk, and it's pretty great. I love the turn the White House into a glass house line. It was good, but I don't know. I don't think I would save this one, if you know what I'm saying.
It's political.
That's not really the reason why. It's just, I don't know. It was good, but it didn't just grab me, So I'm at a 6 out of 10 on that one.
Yeah, to start off, this one kind of confused me a little bit. Was, like Corbin said, it got political, and then it switched back to, like, hood shit, and that was kind of a loop. But I actually dug this one. I thought it had a great beat, and I thought Style gives some great insight on his views and political aspect of things. I thought it was very creative and very well constructed. So I enjoyed it. I gave it a 7 out of 10.
Well, hey, that's only one away from me. Uh, but yeah, so that takes us into the next song, track number 3, Time Machine. The bass underlines the front man, that is the piano, and this is a beautiful beat. The Wampler sound effects on the beat builds the atmosphere well. It's a slower BPM, but man, did it sound great. This is the type of song that I cannot help but think about how I would have created a song with this instrumental, especially with that fantastic chorus, greatly sung by an unnamed artist, unfortunately. Styles has some great lines on here too. A very vulnerable look on his like mental state, but I rather enjoyed this track as a whole. 8.5 out of 10.
This one definitely had a great piano intro, and I like the smooth beat that goes with the lyrics. His Styles P to me doesn't miss a beat, and his flow is just phenomenal on this one.
His flow is like second to none.
Yeah, on this
Honestly.
entire album, to be totally honest. I give this one a 7 out of 10.
Track number 4, Couple Dollars. And right off the bat, you get smacked in the face with that bass and a distorted kick. And this is, simply put, a club record.
Mm-hmm.
And I like the sporadically placed piano hits, but like I said, this is a club track that I just really wasn't feeling. Second verse was pretty good, though. It's 5 out of 10.
Yeah, like Gordon said, this is definitely a club beat. I call it more of a hype song. It's an aggressive beat that's met with some raw lyrics by Styles. It's not a bad song, but I don't think I would ever put it in a playlist. I would revisit it a couple of times, but like if it came out on the radio, I wouldn't skip it, but I wouldn't go out of my way to listen to it again. It's a hype song.
All right, track number 5, Out the Way. The constant build of the synth in the background is pretty cool. Truly fits the drum beat that has a nice bass line underneath it. More gritty and drug and street talk here. Styles P's laid back flow on this beat is very welcoming. He's got such a presence on a track, and I really enjoy it. 7 out of 10. Brennan, where you at with it?
I thought the beat was dope. Thought you were gonna add in on there,
right.
but no, just silence.
I'm definitely leaving that dramatic pause there.
Yeah, I thought the beat was dope. I actually really liked the story in this song. I enjoyed the line "staying out of the way of the pigs and the snakes." It's a metaphor. Yeah, it's not a bad song. I really like it, and the beat's what really sold me on this one. I gave this one a 7 out of 10 as well.
Track number 6, Money in Checks. The piano play that's panned evenly on both sides of the mix, and the ever-present, slowly droning bass lines sound great. I love the aesthetic of the beat. It really gives Styles a platform to let his bars come to the forefront. Dude's pretty savage lyrically on here. P is on his grind here, and I love the flow of the lines. Catch me in a bubble whip, boxing it, glocking it. I said I'm from the hood, and I thought you knew that I popped in it. Yeah, with that being said, man, I give this one a nice 7 out of 10. Pretty easy listen. It's a head bopper for sure. Head bopper for sure.
Yeah, I mean, you pretty nailed it on the head. This is about Styles constantly being on the grind, and there's definitely some street content here. The beat never really changes for this one, which is kind of a bummer. I wish there was like a little bit more variety there. But Styles, dude, this guy goes in on this one, and the flow is so nice on this. Some of it gets repetitive, but it tells a good story, and I'm really down for a good story, especially music. So I'm right there with you, Corbin. I gave this one a 7 out of 10 as well.
Yeah, we're pretty matched on the Styles P, man.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
All right.
Moving
That
on.
leads us to track 7, Life Then Death. The keys sound so longing on here, connecting with each other in the background, and that beat comes in and changes the whole mood of the track. Very gritty production here. This song's drum beat is great. I do wish there was more of a switch up on the chorus though, and there's a repetitive aspect to the beat that got a little old after a while, but Styles keeps the attention with his lyrics, and I heard that locks line. That didn't slip past me. I heard that. And very short third on here too, but that was pretty cool. You don't really hear 3 verses on a like 3-minute song anymore, so it's cool. 7 out of 10.
So for this one, it was pretty interesting to me. Start off, I enjoyed the fact that he made a Star Wars reference, especially with all the stuff that he says in this song. It kind of like didn't really fit in there, and it kind of made me laugh when you like listen to the lyrics. It was clever though, and I liked the way how he did it. I kind of really enjoyed this one. It's aggressive, and he's got a real "I don't give a shit" attitude. And throughout this entire song, but listening to this, I think that this is more of Styles calling out people, basically saying to come at him, and that he's like loaded and he's not stressed, not worried in the slightest. The beat could have had some variety to it, but Corbin, you already covered that. And once again, Style P crushes it with his flow. So I give this one an 8 out of 10.
No matter what, man, he sounds crisp as hell on all these songs. All right, track 8, Marie Antoinette.
Antoinette.
I think it's just Antoinette, but whatever.
Antoinette.
The sample that sits off to the side of the mix, it was pretty fitting to the beat, and honestly gave this track a lot of its atmosphere. The gentle piano is barely there, but it's pretty. The beat smacks, and the singing sample intertwines with it well. The lyrics are street like usual, but I caught some pretty witty lines, and I love the Spotify wordplay section. I give this one a 7 out of 10. That's 3 7 out of 10s in a row. Damn, Styles.
This one was different for me. The background chants, what would you call that, Corbin?
It was a singing sample.
Yeah, the background sample kind of overpowered Styles, in my opinion. I had a hard time hearing him because the chants or sample was so loud and distracting, in my opinion. I did hear his religious verse, and that was really enjoyable, in my opinion. Yeah, I couldn't really hear him on this one. It was maybe the mixing or something.
That's on the mastering.
Mastering, yeah, okay. Yeah. But what I did hear, I enjoyed, so I gave this one a 6 out of 10.
The human ear is funny, because I didn't really get that here. I heard everything pretty perfectly. Or not perfectly, but I heard everything pretty well. But I remember, last week, I was saying, I think it was for that Smino song, the mastering was off on that. And you were like, no, it isn't. I heard every word. And I was like, I had a hard time hearing every word on that one.
Yeah, no, I don't know. What I heard, I liked. We'll just keep it at that. But I wish would have heard more.
Ears are funny.
Maybe it was the headphones. Right. Maybe if you played through the speaker, it'd be different.
Maybe. I always listen to myself with some headphones on.
Yeah.
All right. Track number 9, Lottery Game. Some pretty cool sample loop play at the beginning that brings forth a unique drum beat with this very heavy, and I mean a heavy bass line that'll rattle your car easily. The main theme of the lyrics for this one is life's a bitch, try to hit it like the lottery game. And my favorite lines gotta be thinking, damn God, could I get a break? Life's a bitch, when you eat her out, you get a bitter taste. I was like, what? That, bars. I also enjoyed the lines, I'm just looking to find my happy place. When you die, couple dudes will give you accolades, activate my chi to evacuate, medicate, smoke one, break down, evaporate. That was some pretty good wordplay right there, some good syllable rhyme schemes, and I give this one an 8 out of 10. I dug this one.
Yeah, I also really enjoyed this one. I thought it had an eerie intro to the beat, and then this is just another aggressive song by him, which, you know me, I'm always for that aggressiveness, especially when he's telling a story. So, props to him there. I like the line, money is cool, but respect means more to me. I'm right there with him on that. I just like his message in this one. I think Styles is very talented, and his rhymes are great. And I did enjoy the "Life's a Bitch" line that Corbin just covered. Usually, I'm not a big fan of that, type of stuff when it just kind of like comes out of nowhere. But this one, the flow was just so good and it was in the moment and it just landed
What a way
perfectly.
to end a verse, by the way.
Yeah, no kidding.
It's like, oh.
My main problem with this song is I'm actually worried about Styles. I feel if he means what he says, he might get like ran up on soon. So look alive, young blood. I also
Nah,
dig.
man, Styles P's fine.
I also dig this. I also dig this beat. It's like when, like Corbin said, you can crank the bass up and just cruise down the street with it bumping. I give this one a 7 out of 10.
All right, and that leads us to track 10, the final track, Self-Made. There's some kick bass and a guitar sample that sits as the track's foundation. The bass and the drum beat fits the track, and there's a xylophone in the mix as well. And
Ooh,
I was kind of excited to hear that.
takes me back to
There's
elementary school.
there's so many layers to this beat, and I really enjoyed it. The mixing and layering on the vocals was great, perfectly mastered as well. Here, Styles P's giving facts on how he's self-made and sprinkling in introspective lines as well. I love the part that goes, "You fucking with the homie from the haunted house. I could talk to the night and bring the morning out. Related to the sands and the hourglass. It's happy G-Day when the hour pass. Plant a seed of love when a flower pass. Always pay attention when the coward pass." I know it's not that lyrical, but that doesn't matter when the imagery is there, and in my opinion, that was pretty good. And Styles once again puts out a quality street hip hop album and ends this song with an 8.5 out of 10.
So this one's a way slower pace than what leads up to it, and I love Styles' storytelling in this song. But the only thing I have an issue with is I feel like this song's beat needs to be way more aggressive. I feel like his tone just doesn't match the beat. The story is good in my opinion, but I don't know, man. Like, I need more aggressiveness. Like, I don't know. How did you feel about that, Corbin? Like, am I crazy?
I thought it was fine, to be honest.
Really? I don't know. It's like just leading up to it. This one was a way more slower paced beat, and the story he was telling, in my opinion, about being self made did not seem as calm as the beat was. So
I get that though.
yeah, so I actually really enjoyed this song as well. There wasn't a song on this album that I did not enjoy, so I gave this one a 7 out of 10.
Nice. All right. Overall, you get what you expect from Styles. This guy is killing it this year, and it's great that I get to witness it. This guy has caught my ear years ago with his song Brother, and I've been hooked ever since. That song hit me in my soul. But this album is pretty good. Definitely saved some tracks and would revisit them. I only kind of disliked one song, but this album is a 7.5 out of 10 for me.
I mean, this dude goes in on his songs and tells you about like his life story almost in very real details. It's basically putting you in the position of his shoes. And I love that in albums. I love a good story. That's why I enjoy
That gritty
music so
nature,
much. Yeah,
too.
especially that. Like, I say this, I think, almost every single podcast. I love when artists get real with the audience.
Oh, hell yeah. I mean, why wouldn't you?
Yeah,
This
like,
is your life you're writing about.
it shows them being, friends.
Human.
I'm sorry, I just got a friend request thing and read that out loud. It shows that artists just like us, the audience, are human as well. So the lyrics flowed well, the beats were always nice. I give this album a well-deserved 8 out of 10.
Now,
Higher than Corbin. That's unusual.
yeah, honestly, I was just about to say that.
Usually I'm the dickhead.
I mean, 7.5 is not bad. I still really like this album, and I would honestly recommend this if you're looking for some good street shit.
There's a lot of sevens. A lot of sevens.
Yeah, there's a lot of sevens, so I kind of got to stay in that area. But, I mean, it's all personal preference, too. Okay.
What are we on to next, Corbin? Family Business?
No, we're going to that Action Bronson. White Bronco.
Okay.
For this one, I did not go song by song. So
Okay.
bear with this
So
long ass paragraph.
Corbin's going to dive into that. But first, this is Action Bronson's album White Bronco. It came out on November 1st. It is 26 minutes long and it has a total
26 minutes? What?
Yeah, it has a total of 11 tracks. So Styles P had 10 tracks and his was like 33 minutes. Just gonna put that out.
I did notice like barely one song on here went past the 3-minute mark.
I'm okay with that.
Same.
So you want to start this off with track number 1, Corbin, Dr. Kimball?
Actually, I'm just gonna go into my paragraph. I didn't even go song by song. I'll
That's
be
right.
honest. I didn't even review half this project. Action Bronson. I've had my differences with this dude, but I did go into this project completely unbiased, and I'll be completely honest. It took me until the song Live from the Moon, which is track 5, to find something at all enjoyable here. But when it gets to track 5, the rest of the album, it kind of follows suit in that same tradition of, it's more enjoyable and doesn't feel like a pain to get through. The instrumentation is pretty much the key point here. I mean, honestly, I was just vibing out to the instrumentation on most of these tracks. And that was honestly the best part. Besides that whatever the fuck skit that happened at the beginning of Telemundo, like what the fuck was that? But I wish the entire album started at the Live from the Moon track. I think I would have found it a lot more enjoyable. The dark instrumental that's set in the track is absolutely fire in my opinion. White Bronco has such a luscious intro and the sax sounded great. Love this kind of hip hop here, man. Especially when the drum beat comes in. But Action, you took so long to start that verse up in that song. Especially for how short the song was anyways. Funny bars here. Kind of enjoyed it for the most part. But the song Brutal, I'm getting kind of Eminem vibes to be honest with the voice inflection and the witty bars. But I mean, not on the same level. It's just kind of sounded like him. The feature here, Mayhem Lauren did fine. And you already know how I felt about Prince Charming, one of Action's better songs to be honest. And Telemundo has some of the best bars in my opinion. Just omit the shit out of that intro skit. I love the instrumental here, especially the driving electric guitars and a live bass with a filtrated synth sitting over top everything. Some brass instruments here too. That sounded great. Picasso's ear was super short, but I actually really liked it. The flow over the glorious beat was pretty good. Even though he's going the slow route, the lyrics on the verse aren't the most technical, but they're still alright. Not a fan of the chorus though. The song Ring Ring had a creative beat. Love the painting work done all over this one. A great experience, instrumentally honest, but whew, the lyrics on this one. Not a fan of. The machine gun money lines he kept saying I was just like, why? The song Swerve on them had some of the best instrumentation on the whole project. Love the builds and the sample just merely there in the background. The instrumental fills up my headphones in the best way with so many layers, and I love the chorus to be honest by ASAP Rocky. Just how the words "just notice me" were said so longingly. Action and like I said, feature artist ASAP Rocky both did pretty good on this one with the lyrics. A bit of vulnerability here, and I kind of wish Action did this more often. And I love how the beat changes during the ending as well. Harry Freud, who was the producer of the last track on this record, did his damn thing, honestly. But he always does. He's always got some really great classic instrumentation. But overall, this album took a hot minute to become enjoyable, but it delivered some rather good production once it got to that point. The biggest critique I can say, though, that's definitely a deterrent for me, is there is no versatility here. His flow sounds exactly the same on every single song, and there's no inflection, there's no real emotic feel through most of this thing, just monotone rapping, which would honestly make the album hard to go back to and listen to all the way through. But I found some songs that were worth saving, and with that being said, this project gets a 5.5 out of 10.
You were so nice.
Now we get to the part where Brennan tears it apart. Go.
Pretty much. All right. Track number 1, Dr. Kimball. The beat's interesting, alright? With that being said, the lyrics are shit. I'll give you guys an example. I headbutt, bitch. I don't shake hands. It's an actual line. I also didn't really like the mastering on this one either. The best part about this song was the guitar. There's a howl and a mumble portion. This dude really likes to make random ass noises.
Yes. Oh my God.
It made me scared for the rest of the album. So I gave it a 2 out of 10.
Oh my God.
Moving on. Irishman freestyle. I don't understand the Taz sounds. Best I could describe it. You know, from Looney Tunes.
Yeah.
Taz.
Yeah,
That guy.
I don't know. I don't know. I really don't.
The guy that is sampled on this one reminds me of Jamie Foxx from Gold Digger. I hate how he starts talking in songs, it sounds like. The rhymes weren't awful, but they also weren't great. I gave this one a 5 out of 10. Mount Etna, I don't think you said anything about this one, did you?
No, I skipped everything until Live from the Moon.
Okay.
I listened to it. I just didn't want to review it because I didn't like it.
I thought the jazz is nice on this track. The lyrics are pretty cringy. There's a portion where he goes, dur, 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 dur. Don't. Just random sounds, man. It sounds like Action is drunk and then gets on to record. Like, he's like totally blasted. And then is like, all right, put me in, coach. He deadass just said his next album is for dolphins. And then he makes a dolphin noise. I gave this one a 3 out of 10.
I'm sorry. I really hate talking bad about music, but
Listen, I am totally and completely fair with my grading. Giving you guys an example. Live from the Moon featuring Young Mexico. Best song by far. I like the Indiana Jones references. I think the jazz is very nice, and it's a very Italian feeling song. Reminds me of Sinatra. I actually enjoyed this song a lot, to the point where I give it a 8 out of 10. So no, I'm not just shitting all over this album. Moving on to...
I rather enjoyed that one too.
Yeah, it was good. Moving on to the title song, White Bronco. I thought the beginning was nice, but it should not take 40 seconds to start a 3-minute song. Corbin, we cover this, I feel, pretty often on this podcast. We're on episode 7. I think I've mentioned this on almost every single podcast. I can't stand it when a song takes forever to just start up, especially when it's only 3 minutes. You got like a bunch of people on a track, that's totally fine. It's going to be like 6 or 7 minutes long, so, you know, understandable. But this song was 3 minutes long. It took like 40 seconds to start up, and I hate that. The beat was nice though, but it's a drug song, so that's what it's about. That's all I really gotta say about that. It's okay. I give it a 5 out of 10. Moving on, Brutal featuring Mayhem Lauren. Straight up, Mayhem stole this song. I was not a big fan of the beat or Bronson's verse, but Mayhem did it justice. I gave it a 6 out of 10. Good job. Prince Charming is next on the list. Also not a bad song. I like the beat with the choir, and the story is actually pretty good on this one. It's pretty good. That's all I gotta say about this one. It's a 7 out of 10. Moving on to Telemundo. I hate the opening. What the fuck was that? I have no idea. I know,
right?
Took 50 seconds to start. The beat is basic AF. Something created in GarageBand, it sounded like. On top of that, the rhymes are meh. They're not creative. And again, the guitar is the best part about this song. I give it a 4 out of 10. I don't know if he's trying to be funny in the intro or whatever, but I was just in there like, what? Moving on, Corbin. We're going to go to Picasso's Ear. So, in this one, he calls his music fire. And I think that's very debatable. It's a very egotistical song. And I think it was very shitty and repetitive. And he should not be flexing as hard as he actually is on this song. I gave it a 2 out of 10. Ring Ring featuring Big Body Bess. Rhymes words to rhyme. Just rhymes to rhyme. It's like orange and door hinge. Just thrown in words because it rhymes with another word. The beat was alright on this one. The lyrics aren't great, however, and I feel like they were written very suddenly. I feel like this was just like a jump on the track type thing. Not always a bad thing, but in this case wasn't great. I gave it a 4 out of 10. Corbin, you actually really enjoyed this one. Swerve on 'em, featuring ASAP Rocky. I didn't even write a description for this one. I just gave it a 4 out of 10.
Wow.
It was really repetitive. Overall, I did not enjoy this album. I could not wait to finish it, and it seemed longer than it actually was. I really hate tearing into artists' work like this because I know they spend so much time on it, and I know there's a team that works on it and everything. Don't get me wrong, I'm not targeting them. I'm just saying I've heard this dude's work before. I know what he's capable of doing, and this album was trash. 26 minutes too long. I don't think I would revisit anything on this project again.
No.
No, I gave it a 4 out of 10.
Well, that's about right.
I hate ripping into people's stuff like that, but
Same, but like at the same time, man, you're known for being a lyricist.
yeah,
Like,
and those
I'm sorry,
bars
but
were
nothing
weak.
was really lyrical here. And honestly, the instrumentation was the best part. The jazzy influenced hip hop.
Oh, the jazz was great. I love the jazz.
Like, that's where my love for hip hop is, but then it's laced with these lyrics that are just basic.
I would say
basic
a
as fuck.
good portion of White Broncos higher up scores and how they didn't score lower was on the sole basis of me being a jazz fan and listening to those beats and actually enjoying them. So I feel like that saved him a lot. But that's what I gotta say about Action Bronson. I know what you're capable of doing, bro. Step it up. Prove me wrong on the next one. I'll be listening. Moving on, Corbin. We got.
I feel like we're fair on that one.
I mean, I calls it how I sees it.
I sees it how's I calls it.
Moving on, Corbin. We got Family Business. Another very short one titled LLC.
Very short. Yeah.
We're actually a little behind on this one. It came out on Halloween.
I'll be honest, I totally forgot this came out.
It has the runtime of 13 minutes with a total of a whopping 4 songs.
All right. Family Business is a collaborative rap supergroup from the West Coast featuring King Crooked as the frontman and the Horseshoe Gang as the background, I guess. I've said all this before pretty recently too, because we reviewed their recent project, Grand Opening, and we both rather enjoyed it, if I remember right.
Yeah.
And
I only really didn't like the California song because I didn't understand the references.
And here we get another super short EP called LLC, like Brennan said. And I'm just giving y'all, since this is so short, I'm just giving y'all my overview.
This was like the shittier half of the other album.
Well, don't call it out now. All right. King Crooked absolutely makes this album. He murdered everyone lyrically when he entered the fray on these songs. Without him, I don't know if this album would have been listenable. Fresh Out the Mud is a very minimal beat that was just alright in my opinion. Some of the drum transitions I liked a lot. The lyrics are pretty good here from each artist, but the rather boring chorus weighs down the track heavily. King, like I said, relentlessly kills this track, and the rest did okay, but King was a standout. 5 out of 10. Sprinkle Blue.
Yeah, let me go.
Oh, I thought I was doing. Oh, I guess I did do every song. Okay, yeah, never mind. Go, your turn.
Wow,
My bad.
disrespect. Yeah, this song was pretty basic to start the already short album. I thought it was very repetitive. It was just repeating the title of the song numerous times.
I never find
Um,
any creativity in that.
After Crooked, I thought the lyrics were pretty lacking. I gave this one a 3 out of 10, especially since I know what these guys can bring to the table based on their last album. Very
Yeah,
disappointed.
they're all lyricists, like
Very
known for it.
disappointed.
All right, track 2, Sprinkle Blue. Um, this was not for me. I dislike the chorus a lot, like a lot, which sucks because I do kind of like the Sprinkle Blue reference. But yeah, every artist was average on here, if that, and not really that interesting. Only when King comes in to set the bar. I mean, that gym membership line was pretty fire, and so was that. I'm like Lincoln because I'm innocent. Like, yeah, that was pretty good. But the rest was like just okay, 4 out of 10.
4 out of 10. Right there with you. Uh, the beat reminds me of old Kanye. The lyrics are pretty good, but again, the chorus is so repetitive, and the beat has no variety. I wish there was a little change up there, but it just was the same consistency throughout. The lyrics are good, in my opinion, and they really save this song. Some lines, however, were not so great, but when you have a group of guys doing their own thing, that's to be expected. I'm not going to say no fault there. One line I didn't really care for was when I say blank in this, it's the N word. It's gay blank have some shit to do. Literally came out of nowhere. Had nothing to do with the song. Thought that line was pretty random and meh. This beat is driving me nuts. I give this one a 4 out of 10 right there with you, Corbin. And it killed the reference to Sprinkle Blue to me. Good concept, not well played out.
Not at all. Track 3,
Addiction.
Addiction, is my favorite song on this record, hands down. The beat is pounding and sort of eerie with the piano play that lingers in the background. King's verse was really great, and the guy who plays devil advocate in the verse definitely kills it too. The chorus is great as well, sung out well, and the sex addict verse was it was different. But I mean, I didn't dislike it. It's a side we don't really hear often, and it was unique to hear from this addiction, I guess. 7 out of 10 for me.
Yeah, so again, Corbin, I'm right there with you on this one. This was the best song on this album, in my opinion. There's a real story here, and it's got real lyrics that have the raw effect of the addiction aspect or nature of humans. This song is basically about being addicted to numerous things, but the one that stood out to me the most was the alcohol. And basically not fighting it alone, even though it feels like you are. I really enjoyed this song. It was raw. The beat is nice, the story's here, and of course there is no repetitive / exhausting parts to this song. So on top of that, I will say the chorus is pretty sad on this. So I gave it an 8 out of 10. And it definitely earns gold star of best track on this project.
Shame, and we can call it already because we're on the last track already. Chop it up. I actually like this song. The lingering sample in the intro gets separated from the beat in its entirety. Such a pounding beat as well, but then the verse starts and it just wasn't for me. Very quick switch. I do enjoy the chorus though, even its minor repetitivity that I know Brennan didn't like. The second verse is pretty great with the inclusion of King. 6 out of 10. Brennan?
Yeah, you're right. I was not a fan of this one. The beat is what sold this song for me.
I agree.
It was nice. It was different from the others, but the lyrics just weren't doing anything for me. And as Corbin said, repetitive. 4 out of 10.
Damn, that's way lower than I put.
And yeah, well, I mean, I didn't feel anything from this.
All right, overall, this album wasn't for me. If Chop It Up came up in a playlist, I wouldn't skip it, and I did like Addiction, but I don't know if I'll ever revisit this ever again. Grand Opening is way better than this. Listen to that. This one gets a 4 out of 10.
Yeah, this album was short and repetitive. That's to sum it up lately, that's how it is. Addiction was the best song by far, and it's because it actually had a story, unlike the other ones. I might revisit Addiction. It's a sad song though, but other than that, like I don't see myself revisiting this project at all in the future. I gave it a 4 out of 10 right there with you, Corbin. Great. All right. Well, that wraps up the albums. Corbin, by far, best one, Styles P.
Oh yeah, that's not even a debate.
Agreed. Just a little disappointed with the other guys, considering we know what they're capable of doing. But, moving on, we're on the singles. We have Method Man and Redman, and who else, Corbin?
Street Life and Hands On.
Dude, it's been a hot minute since I've heard from these guys. The title of this single was Wildcats. Came out on November 3rd, and it has the runtime of 4 minutes and 11 seconds. You guys remember last month I told you I was going to do singles actually timed because Spotify is off with that. So, alright. I thought this song was alright. I haven't heard these guys in a while, dude. It has been a big throwback listening to this song. But with that being said, my expectations I feel were a little too high with this one. And the lyrics were just okay in my opinion. And the beat wasn't very creative either, I felt. There was not much variety. But what I do have to say is the song, to me, was just okay. I gave it a 6 out of 10. Corbin, where you at on this one?
I'll be honest, you couldn't have said it any better. My expectations for this song were pretty high definitely after seeing Method Man and Redman because I love those two together.
I know, we grew up with them.
Those two, I mean, they're the most household names from the Wu-Tang Clan, but I gotta say I like Ghostface better. But these two are freaking great artists. All right, so I was really looking forward to hearing some just bars. But anyways, there's a recognizable guitar sample that stays the entire record. I dig how the live sounding drums complement it well with the sporadic piano pads. Just some gritty production, but I do think it gets a little old after a while. It's just looped over and over again. But these are some lyricists, so they definitely keep your attention and deliver that Wu-Tang presence, kinda, even if it's not their best work. A head knocker here. But I'm at a 6.5 out of 10, just like Brennan. Well, not like Brennan, but pretty close to Brennan.
Yeah, pretty close. I give it a 6 out of 10. You're only 0.5 off. But, yeah, I mean, I think it was just an expectation thing.
It was still good. I mean, it wasn't horrible, but...
Yeah.
Honestly, the repetitive beat is what does it for me. I kind of wish it changed
up. Yeah, I definitely agree.
Can you imagine if that beat changed up after every artist is done with their verse, and then it just switched to something new? Even if you're using the same sample, just switch it up. Like that would have been so dope.
Could have been a 9 out of 10. All right, moving on. Corbin, you got me reviewing this, whatever this was, by JID, featuring J. Cole, titled Off Deez. Came out on November 6th. It has the runtime of 3 minutes and 33 seconds. Corbin?
I know you like this one. Don't lie to me.
What the hell was this? What the hell was this? This was trash, dude. It was inaudible. It was not audible except for the chorus. And of course, the chorus is about riding dick and smoking pot. J. Cole did not save this song at all. But with that being said, he was the best part about it. I could at least understand his verse, and I think he did good on his delivery, but the subject matter just I don't care about. And to top it off, at the end, I didn't really care for the suicide line.
Oh my god, same.
This song was Not a song, in my opinion. This was like a rush thing to get out to just say that you have content out. I gave it a 2 out of 10 and would not put this on any of my music pages. Corbin, where you at with this? Do you agree? Do you disagree? You give it higher, lower?
I actually
Please.
like this song a lot.
What?
Yeah, dude.
How?
I'm just kidding. This song is trash.
Oh my god, don't ever scare me like that again. I was about to walk off. I was about to stop recording and just leave.
This song was bad. I'll be honest. I'm a little arrogant when it comes to JID. I never really looked him up. I saw his cipher on his freshman cipher, and I thought it was okay. He's got this fast flow, but besides that, I don't really think he's that lyrical, so that aspect kind of kills it for me. But let me start this off by completely recognizing how technical these verses are. I mean, they try to do something different. And with that being said, I wasn't feeling this song whatsoever. The beat is too weird for me. The bass leads it out okay, but that's not good enough to keep my attention. I really dislike the chorus and JID's verse altogether, and I do think J. Cole did better than JID, but boy, that suicide line killed it for me, like Brennan said.
We don't joke around about that.
No, I don't think it's funny. I don't think it's clever. I thought it was kind of cringeworthy, to be honest. But back to what I said, I understand how technical these verses are, but they were both going so fast that they were tripping over their own words, and it was just really noticeable. Not the record for me, but I mean, I'm still gonna check out whatever JID does because he did land the freshman list. So I mean, he's got to have something, right?
It's got J. Cole.
But for this, 2 out of 10.
All right, yeah, we're right there, yeah. I don't think either of us have ever given a 1 out of 10.
I think I did on Fora's album.
Wow. I don't think any of his songs deserved a 1 out of 10. I hope I didn't give one of his songs a 1 out of 10 because
I don't
sound like
actually. I don't really remember, but if I did to anybody, it was definitely that album.
I love how we bring up that album in every single podcast.
I just wanted it to be better. That's just simple as that.
All
Hey,
right.
look, he's doing great. All right.
Yeah, he's not
That's
hurting.
all that matters.
Our opinion
So,
doesn't matter to him. Moving on, we got please correct me if I'm wrong here. Saba?
Yep.
Saba, yeah.
It was Saba, whatever. Who cares?
Wow.
Just kidding. It's either Saba or Saba, and I'm really not sure. So
I apologize on that. Featuring or as well as Xavier, Omar, and Mick Jenkins. Titled Stay Right Here. Came out on November 9th. And it has a runtime of 3 minutes and 30 seconds.
I kind of want to go first on this one.
Well, too bad. It is yeah, you can go first. I don't care.
I really like this song. Very playful production, and that's apparent right off the beginning of this track. Reverse light percussion with its original form contending with each other as the drum beat leads it throughout. Samples are layered in the mix, and oh boy, does this track come to life during that chorus, including some brass instrumentation. And now the lyrics are really damn good here. I love the different inflections presented by Saba, and his flow was pretty great. I love the lyrics. Ain't been the same since Walt's autopsy. I just wish that I could call him, tell him about tour, tell him about shit not the same like before, tell him how labels knocking at the door, tell him about my face and the source or something. Which was more so a tribute to his late cousin, so that was kind of heartfelt. And Xavier, who's pretty great live, I happened to catch him at Lollapalooza one year, did fantastic on the chorus. I do like how his voice sits a little back in the mix, kind of gives it a little more character. And the "Love Me from the Mountain to the Grave" line was pretty good. And Mick Jenkins, whatever, comes. Sorry if I messed your name up. Mike Jenkins comes through with a rather fitting verse. He honestly has some pretty quotable lines, especially the one, "We stay good with the handiwork, but if I can't see a callus, that can't be worth a dime. They say that $1 will make you rich, but that fake shit can't be worth the time." That was great. I really dig the chill vibe to this track, and I give it an 8 out of 10. I'll definitely revisit this one.
Let me just say this. This song is not for me, and I would not return to this song. With that being said, it's a good song. It's not bad. I actually really like the beat, and I think the mellow vibe of the song was very nice. And I feel like all the artists' flows were just so nicely packaged together on this track. They're all good together. I don't really have any problems with it. It's just not a song for me. So, it's a good song. I recommend listening to it, but me personally, I won't be revisiting it. It's not a bad thing. It's just a preference. 7 out of 10.
All right, final single. Brennan, get it.
All right. Yep, final single, Corbin. We're going to get on this Ren Thomas single titled In the End. Reminds me of Linkin Park. September 13th is when this album came out, and it has a runtime of 3 minutes. Corbin, do you want to go first again?
Sure. So after the Chris Webby song, I said I would look into Ren Thomas, and to be honest, he doesn't have a whole lot of stuff out, at least on Spotify. But this was a more recent release, so I said, yeah, screw it. We'll see if it's good or not, and I'll just throw it in one of our podcasts. And yep, this guy has some damn talent. This is the type of boom bap beat that you hear that you just know some real shit is about to be said. You'll have to listen to see if you're able to catch all the quotable lines all over this track. Personally, the line opioid generation causing all these birth defects, radio stations don't even censor the word Percocet. And yeah, I agree 100% with that line. I'm definitely looking forward to what's next from Ren Thomas, and we will definitely be covering it. I give this one a 9 out of 10.
Start off, Ren Thomas, dude. Like Corbin said, he killed it. I like the piano a lot on this track, but it does not, I don't feel like it fit on it. However, this guy's bars, whew, so good. He's got real lyrics and a real tone to his singing style. And not only that, but the story's great as well. You combine all that, you get yourself a nice, good, quality song. I love his stance on politics. He has a line on there where it's whether right or left, just know the difference from right and wrong.
Right and wrong. Yeah,
and
that line was great.
Thought that was great, and I think everybody should make that a note to take into consideration.
Great way to end that
very,
track.
Very great way to end that track. It's some good shit, man. Best single of the week, nominate Ren Thomas. I gave this man a 9 out of 10 as well. And that'll do it for content this week, Corbin. Pretty short one.
Yeah, what I was gonna say about Ren Thomas is the song. I don't even. Is it 3 minutes?
Yeah.
Okay. Notice how he didn't take his time starting up.
Yeah, he dove right in.
Real lyricist here. All right. Yep. So that wraps up this week. Rather disappointing for the most part, but
Listen. Let's not talk about the negativities, Corbin. I'm gonna go ahead and call it right now. I've said it before in this podcast. I'm going to say it again right now. Styles P stole it for albums this week. And Ren Thomas, although I will say it was a close Saba, Xavier, Omar, and Mick Jenkins. You guys were close. But I got to give this one to Ren Thomas this week. He definitely stole the show on the singles. Thoughts, Corbin?
Yep. Styles P wins albums, obviously. And I honestly think I like Saba and Ren Thomas about the same. I was rather surprised by Saba's song. I thought it was really good, and I've listened to it several times since I reviewed it.
So you'd go more Saba?
No, I like Ren Thomas too. I've revisited Ren Thomas' song a lot too, so it's whatever.
I apologize if we're mispronouncing the name. Yeah, I mean singles were good this week, except for JID and J. Cole, but whatever.
Oh, yeah.
That's all I got for this week.
Yeah, I'm done with this week. Next week will be kind of cool because an anticipated album will be reviewed then. I'm not really sure if we're gonna take a break because of the holidays on doing this stuff, and because we're pretty busy to begin with. But we will be right back, and soon, Brennan, I know we haven't talked about this yet, but soon we'll be disclosing our top 10 list of the year.
Why would you do this to me?
Or at least I will be.
I can do it.
And then that'll be our whole entire podcast for that week is just our top 10.
Music-wise, it's such a blur. Everything came out. What do you mean your top 10 is going to be Lupe Fiasco every single slot?
No, I mean Lupe Fiasco is definitely number one.
Are we doing top 10 songs or top 10 albums?
Albums, not songs.
Okay. That's fine by me.
Albums.
I can do that.
And yeah, it'll be fun. But anyways, we're done with this podcast for this week. Episode 7 is in the bag. We'll see you guys when we see you guys. I'm not even gonna give you a time.
Undisclosed.
All
right, deuces.
Thanks for listening, guys.